We're so predictable as realtors, right? You feed us, maybe buy us a drink. You know, we're going to listen to you all day long. I don't have any drinks, but I'll take credit for their food. So I want to introduce myself. There's a couple of new faces. My name's Rob. I've been a part of this office for almost 11 years. You guys may not see me as much, but I was the team leader. Where Garrett? I was pointing to Garrett. I was the team leader here for 7 years, and my blood, sweat, and tears are in this office. Everything from, like, I'm sitting here reminiscing, seeing how this room's getting ready to be remodeled, and I was the one supervising the build out of this floor and these rooms. So I've been a part of this office for several years. I've been a realtor for about 16, an entrepreneur before that. I've owned nightclubs, construction companies. You're going to hear some of my stories. I'm married. I have 4 kids. You're going to get to hear about them. I'm also a partner in this company, so I'm still very much a part of our family. My license hangs here. I'm just not physically here as much because the opportunities that this company has provided me, I mean this company like Keller Williams, the entity, as well as Keller Williams Antelope Valley, this facility. We talk about a lot of things that Keller Williams does really well, and we have Ignite training, we've got coaching and all these things, and these are absolutely incredible value propositions of what we do well. However, what this company does better than anything else, and literally anyone else, is rarely talked about. And what this company does better than anyone else is create opportunities. I've never been a part of an organization that is better at someone raising their hand and saying, this is what I want for myself. And the number of people that will rally around them, not only support them emotionally, but say, here's the step-by-step of how to do it, and let me walk arm in arm with you and hold you accountable to making sure that whatever you just said you want for your life, that happens. And I don't think we talk about that enough, because there was years ago I sat in rooms just like this, and I remember I just got my real estate license, and I said, you know, you guys all had the one day. Like one day, right? I'm sitting in the class, I'm newly licensed, I'm learning the purchase agreement, I'm like making buddies with my friend, like one day this is gonna be me. Like one day I'm gonna be the guy at the front of the room, I'm gonna be a broker and an owner and all these things. And I'll tell you, through this company, through the organization, the people, the culture, these things that exist called Keller Williams, I have been able to walk through more doors than I even thought or imagined I thought were possible for myself. Opportunities that came to me because I sat in the room like you guys are and then committed to the process. Right? So I also own multiple other Keller Williams offices, and that's why I'm not here very often. I have a Santa Clarita office. I'm a part of the offices that Antelope Valley has as well. You guys are my family. I also have one down in the valley. And then one of the other hats that I wear, which is kind of the hat that I'm wearing today, is Keller Williams has a division. It's one of the businesses that Keller Williams owns, and it's called MAPS Coaching. And MAPS Coaching is currently the largest coaching company in the world, meaning that it has the most amount of clients and the most amount of coaches. It's a pretty big deal. But I think that we sometimes, again, dismiss it as not that big of a deal because we're just so used to being a part of this great organization. So what MAPS does is MAPS provides the opportunity for when your business or when your life is growing to a point where maybe the coach that you're working with here doesn't have maybe the experience that you might need, or maybe it's just a personality thing, you're ready for something else. MAPS Coaching is Keller Williams' division of certified and trained coaches that coach either top producers or franchise owners, team leaders like Garrett, or regional directors. So I am a MAPS coach with Keller Williams. That allows me the privilege to travel all over the country and all over the world. In November, I'm going to Europe, and I'm going to be teaching in Europe, all because Keller Williams is like, hey, you want to go to Europe? Asked my wife, I'm like, do we want to go to Europe? And she's like, yes. Right? I've been called to go to Hawaii. They're like, hey, would you come out to Hawaii? We put you up in a condo, fly you guys out here. I'm like, do we want to go to Hawaii? Yes. Well, now that we're going to Honolulu, the Maui people want to fly us over because we're already over there. Do we want to go over to Maui too?
Yes.
I'm like, yes, we want to go to Maui. And Rob, don't worry, it's just you and your wife. We're going to rent you a convertible Corvette because it'd be fun to drive that around for the day.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, yeah, that sounds really fun. So I'm going to teach business planning for 4 hours and then spend the next 2 or 3 days in Maui driving a convertible Corvette. Right? Like this is, so many amazing opportunities have all come. So my role with Keller Williams, I have these franchises, I get to do business with you guys, and I also coach and train franchise owners, regional directors, regional operating principals. Those are the people that own these franchises, as well as team leaders that run these franchises, right? And they're incredibly difficult and challenging jobs. If you guys think the leadership team here just like kind of shows up and all this stuff happens, like these people work their butts off. So that's a little bit about me. If we haven't met, or if I haven't given you a hug and you deserve one, please come see me afterwards. Like, I want to see you, hug you, say hi, right? You know. And this is, let me tell you, this is also something I've learned through Keller Williams. Is like it's not about the amount of moments kind of thing, whatever that quote is. Like, I have such an appreciation for the people that are a part of my story. Everything from mentors to partners, to peers. Like, I'm looking at Mark right now, making eye contact. I'm like, I've known Mark a long time because he's a realtor. Marvin, right? Like, these guys are some of my dearest friends in the world. These guys are people I consider brothers. And for the weirdest of reasons that you would never imagine. Like, oh, your families are friends, you guys hang out? Like, no.
No.
We've just been in the trenches, just gone through experiences, supported each other, whatever. Literally traveled the world together, done crazy adventures and stuff. But these amazing relationships that we create and these opportunities that we get are truly because of the culture and the environment that this company provides.
Yeah.
It's really, really true. And you get to go and see other companies, you get to go to these Tom Ferry events. You guys, other than you going and paying a couple $1,000s to spend 2 days with Tony Robbins, Mike Ferry, or insert name here, there's no other organization that you'll pull up to and see 40 people in a room, all locked eyes. Only Marvin's looking at his phone. Everybody else is looking at me. Right? Everyone else is looking at me and engaged with what I have to say. Like, that's cultural. It's cultural. There's something in the water. There's something here that we do. And genuinely, if any of you guys want to raise your hand and say, this is what I want for myself. By the way, it doesn't even have to do with making money. This is what I want for myself. I want this life by design, and right now it looks like this. It may look different later. You reserve the right to change your mind. You can change. But right now, this is what I want. There are people in this company everywhere that will say, let me help you create that. Here's who can help you. Here's how you do it. This is what we're going to do. Jason, I see Jason here every morning coming in here, probably kicking your ass with JD, going, listen, we'll teach you these conversations. This is just one thing. So that's what I'm going to share with you guys today, is just a little bit about my story. The title of my class is called The 10 Habits of Highly Successful Agents, but I want to give you some context to what does that mean. What does that mean to, like, I got 12 slides, okay, cool, I do have some jokes, it'll be entertaining. But I want to leave you guys with something. Okay, and here's what I want to leave you guys with, and I always want to set the intention of what we're doing here. I'm a big NLP guy, neurolinguistics, like I want to plant the seed of what we're here to do. And the reality is, if we could take these 12 slides and we could probably spend the next 8 hours and you wouldn't learn 50% of what there is to learn in that, right? Maybe 10%, right? You guys all agree? So if we can't learn everything that I'm going to say or write down fast enough the different ahas that we have and really even absorb what these slides have to say, then what is our intention? Our intention is this. Our intention is to just have one moment during today. If there's one thing said, if there's one moment where you get the little butterflies and you're like, that's me, that's what I want, that's what I need, whatever that is. You want to call it an epiphany, you want to call it an aha, you want to call it just, I'm clear and remembered, I'm validated by what he just said. I want one moment that plants a seed of possibility that when you leave this office, when you leave this room today, stays with you long enough to where you say, you know what, I'm willing to do something about just this one thing. So by the end of the day, you're going to have a homework assignment. So you might want to write this down, put it in your phone. This is when you can use your phone. Your homework assignment is by the end of the day to share the thing you got from this. Like, when I say the thing, I mean this was like an aha that I want to do something about. I want to change something, so I'm going to do something. I want you to not only have documented that so you're clear, which means that it can't just be in your head. It's got to be in your phone notes. It's got to be text message, whatever. You want to clearly articulate what that thing is. Maybe there's 5, that's fine, but we want 1. And you're going to share it with someone that's going to hold you accountable or help you, partner with you, whatever you want to call it, in then taking a step into implementation. Now that doesn't mean that like they're going to have all the answers. What we're looking for is the source of the source. We're going to go to a JD, we're going to go to a Garrett, we're going to go to whoever, and we're going to say, this is the thing I got from today, this is the thing that I want to change and I want to do. where do I go next? Like, what do I do next? I don't even know, right? We're gonna just create the next step after that. But your homework assignment is just to get one thing from today that inspires you, that stays with you to take action on. And if you can do that, if we could come back 90 days from now, and there was just one thing that you implemented into your business routinely, I promise you, you're gonna feel the impact of what that did for your life, whether it's making more money or not. But let me say something about money too. Money is not everything, everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can money buy happiness? No. Money cannot buy happiness. Money can buy a jet ski.
And that might be happiness.
There's examples on jet ski.
Yeah, the old Daniel Tosh joke. He's like, you ever seen someone sad on a jet ski? Yeah. Money can buy flights.
Sad holding a check.
You know. As I'm handing it to you.
Money can make things easier. So you can spend.
So here's what money is, you guys. Zig Ziglar says that money's not everything, you're right, but it just ranks up there with oxygen. Right? It's not everything, but it just ranks up there. What money is a master key. It's just a Swiss Army knife. It's a tool. Right? So it's like, you guys know Naked and Afraid or whatever, some of these shows, and they go, okay, you're going to go on this deserted island, you get one thing. And then it's always like the banter of like, what would I take? If you're stranded on a desert island and you could have one thing, what would it be? It's like some people are like, well, I'd have a hatchet, I'd have a fire starter, I'd have whatever, right? You're only allowed one thing. And so what we're going to do is rack our brain with like, well, can I take a multi-tool? Like, can I take a Leatherman? And they're like, yeah, it's one thing. You're like, what if the Leatherman has like a fire starter and a knife and pliers? And they're like, yeah, it's one tool. And you're like, wouldn't we all choose like that thing?
Yes.
Right? Like that has these multiple tools and fire starter and all that, right? That's what money is. We're standing in a room, we've got this hallway, like in my house there are many doors, right? There are many rooms. And imagine for a second you identify something that you believe might fulfill you in your life, and you see all these rooms and you look at this door and you say, you know what, my situation only unlocks one door right now. And there's all these other doors of possibilities for your life and experiences and so on. And then someone hands you a master key and says, this will unlock any of the doors as many times as you want to. Go into every room and see which one you like. If you go into that one, don't like it, that's fine, walk back out. Like, money is the type of tool that allows me to fly to Europe, be paid to be at a speaking event, be paid to be consulting people, and have flown all the way across the world, got there for 2 days, I'm going to be there for 10, and after 2 days I'm like, this place kind of sucks, let's just leave. Let's just go somewhere else. I'd rather go to New York, let's fly back. Like, but the rooms and the flights and everything, it's just money, let's go. Like, we don't have to force this right now. Like, we've been here 3 days, we don't like it. Or, oh my gosh.
This is so nice, let's extend
Yeah,
it.
Mark and I one time were in South America, like outside of the rainforest of Peru, and there was this little town that we showed up to, and we were just looking for a hostel to sleep in, and we found like the equivalent of South America Mammoth. It was like this little place where people with money in South America came to. So we've been all these places where there wasn't money. Let's just put it that way. There wasn't money, and now we're in a place where like there was some money, and it was pretty nice. And we're like looking around, and we were all just kind of agreeing. We're like, we could chill here for a month. Like, we really could. Like, we're halfway tempted to call our wives and be like, this is where we're at. You're welcome to join. But I think we're going to stay here a month. Like, money provides those kinds of options in your life, right? Tell them all this. So,
That was it was me, sorry.
you're good. I was just teasing. All right, so let's get into the class here. Does that sound interesting to any of you guys? Have I caught your attention? Okay. What's our intention for the day?
Money. I mean,
Hey, it might
Clearly articulate.
be. To be able to clearly articulate what?
one thing.
One thing.
One thing that I'll what? One thing that I'm going to tell someone about that will help me implement. I need a who. Okay? So our intention for today is to just get one thing. I'm for sure going over on time. Right? So you guys are going to have dedicated your time to this class and so on. And your objective is to just get one thing that you can make a decision. You haven't even done anything yet. You just simply made a decision to tell someone about the decision you made and how you're going to implement it. If you're not clear on how, that's fine. You'll figure it out. But you got to tell someone. They're going to help you find the how. Okay? All right. For those of you who've been in this class before, we started this a couple months ago, and we're doing it again. But I want to start off by reading you guys a poem. And I think this is a great way. I usually start off my business planning clinics or this class with this poem. So I'm going to read it to you guys here. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am completely at your command. Half of the things you do, you might as well turn over to me, and I will do them quickly and correctly. I am easily managed, but you must be firm with me. Show me how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I am the servant of great people, and alas, of all the failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, though I work with the precision of a machine and the intelligence of a person. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. So if you take my class, hold that for just a second. Let's give someone who hasn't heard that poem before. Who am I?
Money.
Mindset.
Self,
Mindset,
subconscious.
Money.
subconscious.
Discipline.
You guys have taken my class before. Who am I? Go ahead. You, teachers' pets can answer.
It's you.
I am a habit. So what is a habit?
Something that you've already learned consistently, do without thinking about it. You brush your teeth, you say
Yeah.
please, you say thank you.
It's a program that we're running.
Trained to do
It's
it.
a program we're running on autopilot. It's just built in. If I hit enter on this keyboard, the keyboard just runs the program called what enter does. It doesn't say, well, Rob meant to hit space. It doesn't guess, it just does. A program, a habit, is just something that we do conscious or subconsciously without thinking about it. So what are some examples of good habits?
Showering.
I'm black.
Showering, yeah.
Lead generation.
Yeah, the definition says a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. Everybody ever tried to break a habit?
Yeah.
Bite your
Remember I quit
nails?
smoking? I don't
You
smoke.
quit smoking?
I haven't smoked in 4 years.
And you were like,
I was
you were
out
like
there with
leading
Carlos.
the gang in the,
I was
you know,
out
behind
there
the
with
bleachers.
Carlos and he needed new lungs.
So it was quitting a habit. Biting your nails, right? Whatever. My son's doing this thing right now.
Uh-oh.
He's like, this is jaw thing.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, the heck are you doing? Why? Stop moving your jaw like that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm like, you look ridiculous. He's like, I didn't even know I'm doing it. I go, that's why I'm telling you. Because you don't know you're doing it. And you're sitting there thinking, and you're like moving your jaw around. You look ridiculous. It's a horrible habit. And he's just, it's just a tick. Like it's just something he does. But it's a habit. A habit is something we do unconsciously. Now, examples of good habits. It is a good habit to brush your teeth. It is a good habit to take a shower daily. I have a book that I'm writing, and I have some chapter outlines and stuff. And right now, the leading title of the book is called Naked Goals.
All right.
Naked Goals. And so why Naked Goals? Well, one, it's catchy, and it might,
It
get
might
some
be
attention on the book.
mind go.
But here's what I realized. I said there's some habits and agreements that we have in the world, right? We all have these agreements, social agreements about ourselves, with ourselves, right? You guys have promises that you make to yourself that you don't break. Nobody else knows about the promise. It's just an agreement you have with yourself, right? And then we have agreements that we have with each other, like, inappropriate things to do, right? Those are all agreements that was inappropriate, right? If one of you guys just got up here and, came and slapped me, like, that's inappropriate. Right? That's all an agreement we have. No one had to tell you before you came in, you're not allowed to slap Rob during the class. Right?
Right.
So one of the agreements that we have, is you guys think about that, like, we all have the agreement that we need to be healthy and wealthy, right? Like, that's just a non-negotiable agreement, right?
Healthy and wealthy.
We don't have that agreement. We have that conversation. We have that suggestion. We have that intention, right? The people that have the agreement that it's like non-negotiably healthy and wealthy, you know what we call them?
Go getters.
Healthy and wealthy people. Healthy and wealthy people made it non-negotiable to be healthy and wealthy, and they are. So what are some of the agreements that no matter, how late you are, how frustrated you are, what a bad mood you're in, anything, like, have you ever woken up and your alarm didn't go off and you're late for an appointment and it's like important, job interview, flight, whatever, and you're like, shit, I have 45 minutes to get to that appointment and it'll take me an hour and a half to do the things I need to do to get there, including driving, right? Everybody been there, just me? Okay. It's called Monday. Right? So has anybody, let's say an important job interview or a listing, you got $1 million listing appointment, and the only time that they can meet is 7 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, and you're like, absolutely, I'm in, right? And they're like, great, meet me at 7. You wake up at 6:45, and it's a 10-minute drive.
I'd have been there at 6:45.
Well, here's the thing. You woke up. It just happened. Life got in the way, right? Fly child, whatever it is. It's 6:40. You have 15 minutes to get somewhere 10 minutes away. How many of you...
I'm going to put your clothes on and go.
How many of you guys sleep in underwear? How many of you guys sleep with anything on?
Okay.
Now, here's the agreement we have. Here's the agreement we have. We have an agreement, a social agreement, that no matter how late you are, like I'm looking around, there's some really pretty ladies here. All of you guys look nice.
But we're still putting on our clothes.
You still put on your clothes.
Yep.
You guys were late to things today. You guys forgot to do things. You guys didn't have time to do things today. And yet you're all dressed. Your hair looks nice. Your shoes are on. They match. It's an agreement that is non-negotiable that no matter how late you were, you don't show up to that listing appointment naked. And you're like, I wouldn't have made it if I got dressed. I'm here. Naked. I was in bed, I jumped up, oh my God, I'm late. I grabbed my keys and I said, by God, I'm not going to miss that appointment. And I ran out the door. I'm here. This is how dedicated your realtor is. Like maybe you get the appointment just on like, shit, she is dedicated. But the agreement is, like, there's no scenario where you guys would ever think that that's even a possibility.
Yeah.
Because you have agreed with yourself, let alone all of us, it's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable that you at least have clothes on. You wouldn't even show up in sweats, right? You'd like at least throw on a decent outfit. Like, I threw a jacket over my t-shirt today because I'm like teaching class. Right? So I'm calling it naked goals because I'm like, what if we had the same type of non-negotiable expectation, not even just with each other, but with ourselves. It's absolutely non-negotiable that we're wealthy and healthy.
So wealthy.
That we're so abundant, we have so much,
Yeah.
that everyone around us lives an abundant life because of our overflowing abundance. Anybody ever been told that, like, you should feel bad about yourself if you want to make more money or do more, achieve more? Like, anybody ever feel that from society? Because I don't like that about society. Who knows the Enneagram? All the women do.
All the what?
The what?
The Enneagram? Girls, get on Instagram, come on. The Enneagram, who knows the Enneagram? What's your
I don't know what
Enneagram?
that is. I told you before.
You're a 4? Of course you are. Look how beautiful your hair is. You probably have tattoos somewhere. You're very unique. Yeah.
She's our pinup.
So Enneagram, it's like a behavior assessment. It's this thing. So I'm a 3. I'm an achiever. Surprise. I'm an achiever, which means that my core motivations are about achievement. My whole sense of value is about, like, I believe that love and interaction is all about what I can offer you. Like, my subconscious tells me that Barbie's only my friend because of what I've achieved or what I can do for her. Like, and it's not true. I have to walk through it. But that's the default, right? I have a high 8, which means I'm a challenger. I'm like, got to do these things. Okay? So having these types of awarenesses about who we are and everything, going back to the naked goals, what if we had that same type of agreement around our goals for what we want in life? And let's say that's money, and what I was getting at is, like, with this money thing, like, if you think that money can't help you, you haven't given enough away. If you think you don't need more money, you haven't helped enough people.
Come on.
And this is just truth. And for those of you who have a couple extra bucks, and is anybody, I'm sure, right, Mark's got a couple extra bucks, you guys, go ahead and ask him. So Mark's got some extra money here, and I promise you, Mark has had people in his family, his friends, someone realize that he's had a couple extra dollars, and in really tough times, like deserving tough times, he's gotten phone calls. He's probably gotten phone calls from pastors, from good friends, and we're like, hey, Mrs. Jones is in a bad spot right now, she needs a car. And, we did all the work. It's like $3,000 though for this car, and we don't have it. Mrs. Jones has 2 kids, truly needs it. I know this is so odd, but like, do you think you could give us $3,000, Mrs. Jones? Right? I know he's gotten a call like that. And I know there's been time where him and his wife, and it's probably not even $3,000, there's been family members, right, that are in bad situations, whatever, colleges or arrests or whatever, and they've called and they've needed $10,000, $30,000. His daughter might have wanted to buy her first house. His son needed to do whatever, right, needs a surgery. Could you imagine getting a phone call that your sister needs a surgery and she doesn't have insurance and the doctor wants 50 grand and it's not one of these things we can do some fundraising for the next 6 months, like this needs to be decided. And your answer is, oh my gosh, why are we even talking? Look, we'll figure it out, the check is there, it's done. And so, no, you don't understand, like we can get someone, look, done. Call a doctor, it's done. If we figure it out, we figure it out, but the money's here, done. $50,000, are we kidding? This is my sister. If things get worked out later, great, but we're going in tomorrow. So we're going to establish what are these non-negotiables. When we talk about habits, I want you guys to understand that, like this poem, you can run me for profit or run me for ruin, it makes no difference to me. And it really doesn't. And this is, I'm about to give you guys, you know the Matrix, red pill, blue pill? Okay, which one are you guys? Who's blue pills? Which means you take the pill, you forget that you have consciousness and all this. If you go back to the simulation. You're back in the simulation. Who's a blue pill person? Because this happens, by the way, young people especially are like, who cares if it's a simulation? Blue pill. Like, who's a red pill? I want to know if I'm in a simulation, right? I want consciousness. Okay, I'm going to give you some red pill stuff. You guys ready? Because this sucks.
All right.
No, it really sucks. It really does. If you take the red pill, which means that now you have knowledge, you know it's real. And once you know something's real,
You have to act upon it.
you're not allowed to be a victim. You're not allowed to be a part of the simulation because you know the truth, right? It's a choice. It's a choice. And whose choice is it? It's your choice. God gave us control over one thing in this entire world. We can't control our freaking kids. We can't control the economy. We can't control all these things that we're trying to control. We can't control what the market's doing. God gives us one thing. Free will. That's the one thing He gave us the control over. And so what is free will? It's the choice. We have the choice. So that means every day your success, and this sucks, you guys. It does. Because here's how I know this is going to hurt everyone in this room's feeling, including my own. Because the fact that we're in this room tells us we have not reached our fullest potential. We're all here today. We're all at different levels of potential and possibility and all that, and achievement. However, the fact that we're all still here says that we have not reached our fullest potential of what we see for ourselves as possible. And the reason we're not there is because we've just chosen not to do the things it takes to be there. That's it. Now I'll give you like a slight cheat. If you're in this room and you're 14 years old and you live in America where the law says that you have to listen to your parents and things like that, and you've wanted to do these abundant things and your parents are guided, like, it's still a choice, but I'm gonna give you some slack because, yeah, until you're 18, like, there might be some limitations with that. But is there anyone in here under 18? Okay, then that excuse doesn't play with you. Which means that your parents, all the fricked up stuff that you guys went through in your life, which we all have our story, every single one of you guys has a story of tragedy, has a story of amazing achievements and love and all these things. You guys all have your roller coasters just like I do, and they're all unique and separate. Like, oh, George is from this neighborhood, and it was tough. And you know what? It was. The way that he was upbringing was freaking hard. And his parents, just like my parents, didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were figuring it out as they went, and they made mistakes, and there was uncles that were jerks, and there's just stuff. And then my story's different, but it was also stuff. And all of it's a choice once you guys realize, once someone told you, you have the power to choose. So any of you who just took the red pill, you no longer are allowed to blame a circumstance, you're no longer allowed to blame a person, you're no longer allowed to blame anything other than your choice. Now the choices got here today, that's fine, life is good, do you want it great, do you want it worse? But every time it's a choice. You can choose abundance, or you can choose scarcity. Scarcity is a fixed mindset, so. So write this down. If you guys have notes, we'll give you a couple things here. Setting a lot of foundation, but I promise it will make sense. You guys have to understand how I think because my brain doesn't shut off. Like I try to go to sleep, you know, normal people are tired and they lay down and they're like, okay, I'm tired, close my eyes. The 8 voices in my head get louder and start yelling, right? So I'm like having these conversations with them all the time, right? Letting you into my matrix. The definition of an abundant mindset, if you want to record it, it's easier. If not, write it down. An abundant mindset is when you choose to focus on the solutions to your problem. When you choose to focus on the solutions to your problem. Scarcity mindset. When you choose to focus on the problems to your solution. When you choose to focus on the problems to your solution. Scarcity versus abundant, which one are we?
Abundant.
It's a good choice, it's good to say that. However, you're both. You guys seen that yin and yang, right? Like, we're both. You guys all suffer just like me. We've all caught it. We suffer from the human condition. And the human condition means that we wrestle with this stuff. The powers of good and evil, the powers of abundance and scarcity. However, the second that you have awareness is when you can do something about it. So how long you stay in one mindset or the other, how long you choose these different things, all predicates on when you realize you can do something about it, which all of you that took the red pill now know that in every situation, you have the choice of how you can put your focus. Now, when I said you choose to focus on the solutions to the problem, did I say the problem went away?
No.
No.
Did I say the problem got easier?
No.
No.
Did I say, well, if you do this, you'll eventually solve the problem?
No.
I just said when you choose to focus, you're putting your energy, you're focusing on the solutions to the problem. That's it. It's a choice. That's what we can choose. Doesn't mean the problem goes away. Doesn't mean it gets solved. Doesn't mean it gets easier. Oftentimes it will. However, it's just a choice. Now, I choose to focus on the problems to my solution. You guys all have that friend? Not people in this room. You know, they're out there. But we all have that friend that every time we have a solution, they got a problem for every solution we bring. Yeah, but. Are you a yeah, but? Well, you know, what we could do is we could like set up a fund and we start putting a little bit. I know you don't have a lot of money, but in order for your kids to go to school, like we could just put $100 a month in it and it'll add up. You're like, yeah, but. Yeah, but. And I'm like, look, even if it was $100, let's put $50, let's put $25. $25 a month. Go to Starbucks, you know, 3 times less. And then you got $25 a month going into your kid's college fund, you got a good habit. Maybe down the road there's a birthday party wherever we could put some money in. You're like, yeah, but this seems like a lot of work. I gotta set it up. And it's so embarrassing to only do it with $25.
Oh, God. We don't want those friends.
All of a sudden, 18 years goes by, anybody got grown kids? 18 years go by and you're like, that was fast. I have no money for college for them. And you're like, man, even that $4,000 I would have saved up really would have helped out right now. Might have like paid for a couple things, right? All right. Any questions or ahas so far? All right, we're nailing it then. That means that there's no stone unturned. Ah, good job, man. Everything's a choice. There's a reason why I asked for ahas, by the way. Can I have, who's a great note taker? I don't want to put anybody out. Is anybody good at notes?
Anybody what?
Good at notes? I somehow wanted to document. Okay, I'm going to choose a name. Anybody who gives aha during the day, if we can just like document their name, George. Okay. I just want to reward. I'm going to do something. I'm going to pull someone's name that people that engaged a little bit because I want to reward that with something. I'll do a gift card or a coaching session. What was I saying?
So you're gonna give me a.
Gonna give Barbie some money or something like that? It's like, yeah. Anyways, I'll go on. Okay, so I got derailed with George. Ahas. Okay, we're gonna get into this. It'll come back to me. All right, the 10 habits of highly successful agents. Habit number 1. They start the workday early. How many realtors just cringed? They start the workday early. Who's like read all these studies on when you start the workday early, you're so much more likely to be successful, like the 5 a.m. club, all this BS. Yeah, they start the work. So what they did is, so the way that we came up with this, by the way, is I taught this at Family Reunion, which is a big convention that Keller Williams does. We taught this 5, 6 years ago in Orlando, let's call it. And we did research by polling top producing agents. We were asking these questions in order to develop. It was when we had hired Stephen Covey to go through all these habits, and they were creating the scoreboard and anyways. We created this methodology with Stephen Covey's organization, and which is Covey something, whatever. So this isn't just like stuff I made up, by the way. This is all coming from surveys. We were talking to top producers. And what we found is that they start the workday early. So they started the workday when their intentionality, their energy, and all that was at its best. And because of that, they were more successful. But I'm gonna walk you through an exercise, but I want to give you the reason of why that works. Because who in their head calls BS? Like, why early? Why does that matter? If that was the case, then all the rich people should live in Europe. Because the day starts earlier there. Right? They're like, I don't know, 9 hours ahead. In fact, the Philippines and Japan, they're 14 hours ahead of us right now. It's already tomorrow. We're broke. Like, how does that work? Like, why is it starting the day early? Right? Well, I'm gonna go through it. It has a couple reasons. One of them is just that, you're using your energy wisely, and when your attention span is at its best, you're getting things done that matter the most. You're doing those most important things when your energy is matching, when you can do it, right? Versus taking the least version of yourself that's tired. That's a big part of this. But I'm going to give you an aspect that people don't talk about much. And I'm going to go through this, by the way, real quick, because this is really fun. If we started the workday every workday, not every day of the week, just every workday, we started 1 hour earlier, and we use that 1 hour to simply just where to go? I got to go back. Okay. If you got up earlier, that's 15 additional days for the year in hours, right? So if we took 20 contacts a day, if we just took that 1 hour and made 20 extra contacts during that 1 hour extra, that would equal 300 additional contacts that we made in that 1 year's time by having just got to the workplace 1 hour earlier, which means 1 hour less of Netflix, 1 hour less of Instagram, or whatever you do, right? So 300 additional contacts for the year, and we just did the math, and we had a 12-to-2 ratio of the MREA contact touch, which, by the way, in the next couple months, I'll be working with Garrett to bring you guys something really cool around your database. Like, game changer. Gary Colors is going to ask me to be on stage about it, like working on something really big that's going to help you guys with your business around staying in touch with your clients. But if we had a 33 touch and so on, that's 50 additional transactions a year. That's the math. This isn't theory, this is the math. This is the ratio of when you talk to people about business, of how many deals you get, and 300 additional contacts is 50 pieces of business, right? So at $4,000 net commission, you guys can tell I wrote this curriculum about 6, 7 years ago, right? In the Antelope Valley. It was $200,000 extra by getting up early.
Wow.
An extra $200,000, and that's not even including what you already made, or if you even made that. Right? That's just doing what you do. So this is intentionality. So in my world, we're going to do an affirmation here. When I get up just 1 hour earlier each day, I will generate an additional $200,000 in 2019. I got to edit that. An additional 200, and we'll say in 2023. So now we're going to take this to the next step. You guys know I'm big on NLP, the power of words and what we tell ourselves, how we talk to each other. So we're going to modify it. Who thinks this sounds good? When we say that? Does that sound good? Okay. We're going to take it one level higher.
I will.
Yeah, it's a declaration as an absolute. It's not an intention. It just is. I get up just 1 hour earlier each day. I generate an additional $200,000. It's not I will, I want to. It's I do. I am. Okay. Here's actually why getting up earlier really works. Okay, it's a game. So what happens is, I come to the office, right? And Barbie comes to the office as well. We're both going to get here. We're both going to play this game. We're going to make our contacts. And so we both get to the office, and she gets here at 8 a.m., and she sees that I've already been here. I've already been making my calls and anything. She's like, crap. Like, Rob beat me here. Like, I was supposed to get early. Anybody ever try beating Marvin here? Like, good luck. Right?
Marvin lives here.
Yeah, he's got a house down the street. He takes a shower at, but he lives here. So Barbie comes in. She's like, oh man, she makes her contacts, but she sees I'm just finishing my 20 contacts for the day. She's like, crap, tomorrow I'm gonna get here earlier. So the next day she gets here at 7:15 in the morning, and I'm already here, and I'm just finishing up my contacts. Right? She's like, damn it, you beat me here again. He's just finishing up. You beat me again. So the next day she's like, I'm really gonna get him. She gets here at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm already here. And I'm finishing up my contacts. Right? And she's like, you already made his 20 contacts. What the hell? And the next day she's like, 6 a.m. And she gets here and I'm already here and I'm finishing up my contacts. I'm like, Barbie, where you been? Just made my last call. Got an appointment, right? Now what happens in the mindset game that we're playing? Here's what happens. This is why it's actually important. Because it really doesn't, if you guys can do it at 10 a.m., it's going to work. But here's the game we're playing with ourselves. The integrity that you have with yourself, the belief you have in yourself matters absolutely in your success. When you tell yourself, I'm going to lose 10 pounds by Thanksgiving, your brain goes, no, you're not. You're like, I know, but I want to say it. It knows, like, the camera crew following you around, that's your subconscious. It knows whether you're full of shit.
So good.
So here's the thing, let's say I have absolute integrity on things that don't matter, no one else is watching anything, but when I say I'm going to do something to myself, I do it because myself is listening. And now what happens is when I turn to myself and say, you know what, I'm going to take Rob up on that bet. I'm going to get here 1 hour earlier each day just to make 20 contacts for 66 days. I'm just going to see how it changes in 2 months. And your subconscious is like, damn, girl, you probably will. Because that's what you do. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. And then you know what you do? So here's the thing. I'm here earlier, right? What is my brain telling me when Barbie, I keep beating Barbie here? What am I telling myself?
Achievement.
Achievement. Dude, I deserve this. Look at me. I'm beating her. I'm getting her. She knows it. I deserve this. I'm willing to do what she's not willing to do. Every time I see her squirm and I can see it on her face that she's going to try to beat me the next morning, I come earlier. It's like Kobe Bryant. You guys heard these stories about Kobe? Where these guys show up, like, I'm going to show him. I'm going to get there early. And he's just finishing up the 3-hour workout. And they start working out. And he doesn't stop working out the whole time they're working out, even though he's been there for 3 hours. And he doesn't stop till after they leave the gym. Like, you guys heard these stories?
Yeah.
People call him out and they're like, dude, what was that all about? I gotta know. But he's like, I saw you watching. There was no way I was gonna let you beat me to the gym, and there was no way that I was gonna even let you work as hard as me after I'd even been working out for 3 weeks. There's no way. He was mentally defeating the opponent before they'd even gotten on the court with him. Mike Tyson used to do it. Tiger Woods did it all the time. They would already beat people before they were on the court, and you're playing a game against yourself.
Muhammad Ali didn't count until it started hurting.
Literally till his brain broke.
Yeah.
Till his brain broke. Even back then, there was people in Muhammad Ali's life that were like, dude, you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing the ropey dope with guys like George Foreman and Joe Frazier. You can't take it. He's like, I won't quit. This is the plan. They're gonna have to kill me. And guess what? They pretty much did it. Right? So you're playing the game with yourself, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna let her beat me, and now I believe that I deserve it more than she does. So because I believe that I believe it, that I deserve it more than she does, guess what I do? The things that people deserve it do. Because that's what successful people do. And I'm successful, so that's what I do. And guess what she does? She believes that I deserve it more too. And I can see it. And she's like, damn, Rob keeps beating me. He does deserve it more than me. And she begins to behave as someone that believes that I deserve it more than her because she sees me beating her here. It has no bearing. If I made the calls at 8 a.m., if I made the calls at 5 a.m., I made the calls at 12, if they got done, you're going to get the same result. But the game that you played mentally in order to completely convince yourself and believe that you deserve it, that this is what you are, and it's completely non-negotiable. Just the same way that being dressed is. It is non-negotiable, Barbie. You will not beat me here. If I have to stay the night, you're not beating me. I'm going to make more calls than you. I'm going to do it before you. That game that I play, it's not even about her. It's about the game that I play with myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
You versus you.
It's you versus you.
And everybody gets to watch.
So when I say successful people get here earlier than other people, it's not because getting there at 7 instead of 8 is the difference. That wasn't like the magic formula. The magic formula was they absolutely convinced themselves that they were worthy of what successful people get because they're doing what successful people do. And so it was self-fulfilling. They succeeded. Okay, habit number 2, mental and physical energy. How many of you guys get home at the end of the day and you feel like you got hit by a truck? Right? It's exhausting. You guys, what we do for a living, we interpret, we're dealing with people's lives. And in fact, in real estate, you know that real estate is the third most statistical, third most stressful event, moving, third most stressful event that someone goes through in their life, statistically. Like there's soldiers and stuff like that go through some crazy stuff that are, not on the stats.
But it's always emotional.
For the average person.
But it's always emotional.
It's only behind the 1 and 2 is death of a loved one is number 1. Number 2 is divorce, statistically. So number 3 is moving. By the way, sometimes are we helping them move because one of the first 2?
Yes.
Someone died, they got to sell. Someone left me, got to sell.
Yep.
Right? So the third most stressful situation that someone goes through in their life is oftentimes even created by the 1 and 2, or even 2, because now that my spouse died, I'm without a spouse.
Now it's compounded.
So the top 3 most stressful things I can experience statistically in my life are all happening right now,
Same time.
at the same time, and I want $500,000 for this freaking house!
But it's worth 40.
So you're not getting people at their best, you're getting people at their stressed.
Yes.
Right? Like what we do for a living is help people navigate one of the most stressful situations in their entire life. That's why we joke we're all therapists and all this kind of stuff. Right? Like what we do for a living, I think I'd be less tired on some days than if I had dug ditches all day long. Like I'm just wiped emotionally. Right?
That's a different tired, yeah.
So you guys think that we might need to train our body? If I was telling you, hey, we're gonna go run this Olympic triathlon together, right? John's carried me up some hills before and some Spartan races and everything. Guess who trained? Guess who didn't?
Yeah.
Guess who trained? Guess who didn't? I'm like pulling out the mustard packet, so I'm like, can you carry this too? Please. Any ounce will help. Dude, someone trained, someone didn't. John's like, yeah, no problem. You want to get on my back? We'll just, yeah, I wish I was lying.
I needed the challenge. I gotta tell
Yeah.
a story. I just wanted to tell a story about the end of it, though.
The end of it?
The end of the
Go
day.
ahead. Well, which one?
Something about Rob. We were all there.
When my legs didn't
Rob was
work?
playing up the back of the event.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's exhausted, but his
It's
training.
like mile 8.
His training, his everyday focus on something showed its face.
This is how it started.
At the very
I was like
end.
this, hold on.
He couldn't hold himself on the little wall thing that John and I had to help him hit, right? He got off. At the very end of the Spartan race, there's a bell about this high.
And
Guess
you
not
gotta
bells,
ring
you
it.
jump off, ring the
You
bell.
ring it. He got off. He was, you were what, 35, 40 minutes behind me, I think.
Yeah,
Time
well, you know.
Yeah, you're well. I'm just saying that's how tired he was, right?
Yeah.
He looked at that bell, does this, bam, hits it, back foot, no problem.
Did a
runs
jump,
the
spin,
bell.
and kick and kick the bell.
Jump, spin, kick.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, his body had been trained so well.
It was muscle memory.
He was so
Yeah.
exhausted, and he hit that bell.
What's funny is John Silva
Like-
Sr. was there, and I'm literally like this. We had just gone, this is like mile 8 or 9 on this thing, and I can barely stand. I'm like, and John Sr. standing. Were you with us, John?
No.
Did I do it again when you came back, or were you with us?
You might have done it another time.
I'm like this, and I'm like, I can't breathe, and the Johns are next to me, and they're like, you okay? Can we keep going? I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna do a jump spinning back kick and kick that bell. And John Sr. starts laughing. John is like, oh, of course you are. Like, that's what you're gonna do. Jumped up, kicked it. And it's not to brag or boast. However, I will say it was muscle memory. I didn't have to think. I didn't have the energy to do a jump spinning back kick at mile 8. What it was is like I was playing a game with myself. I could barely move, and I was like, what's the hardest damn thing I can do right now? I'm not gonna jump up and hit the bell. I'm gonna do a jump spinning back kick and hit the bell. I could barely stand. I'm like, no, muscle memory. You know how many jump spinning back kicks? Jump spinning crescent kick.
I just learned I don't mess with Rob anymore after that.
You know how many thousands of them I've had to do in my life in order to be able to do one when I'm the most exhausted I've probably ever been in my life, like muscle memory. So the mental and physical habit, what we found is that highly successful people understand that training themselves isn't just about learning something. It's about creating a 10,000 repetition mastery of it. It's about doing something so many times, like even something like a listing presentation or Ignite. Hey, you should be there. Oh, I've already taken it, don't worry. Have you done it 10,000 times? At your most exhausted day in real estate, could you do verbatim your listing presentation by complete memory and nail it? Like, have you done it that many times? Let alone have the energy, the physical and mental energy. Like, or what books are you reading? Who are you talking to? Who fills your bucket? Right?
Yes.
People like this, successful people, they're intentional about that. They know that their physical energy has an effect on their business energy, their mental energy, all this stuff. I'm gonna get through it a little quick because I said I was going over, but I'm gonna. Rob fills my bucket. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rob fills my bucket too.
So, exercise, affirmations, meditations, laughing. You guys, I'm not kidding. I have a library of movies that just make me laugh. I have Instagram accounts that I follow. Like Becky's one of my favorite people.
Mine too.
Right? You know why? Look, we don't. It's not like we're hanging out or families or friends or anything. She makes me laugh.
Yeah.
She cracks me up.
Yeah.
I love people that make me laugh. Like, it's hysterical.
Rare tea, let's go have it.
Right? You know, it's like, hang out with people that are funny. They fill your bucket.
Yeah.
You know, watch movies that are funny. Go on Instagram, follow comedians. Like, know that good music. Anybody ever just like listen to a good song?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was pulling in here and this really good song came out. I'm like, I just need a minute. Hold on. Let me just. Right? Be intentional with that. What gives you mental and physical energy? Because you're going to need it. All right, levels of awareness. This is deep. I'm going to go quickly on this. However, this is like the level of consciousness. This is really important to understand. This is the different levels of consciousness within society. They started polling people and the levels of awareness. And here's what this means. It's like this is the framing of how we see the world. Okay, so the Queen Elizabeth just died, right? There's a succession plan. It's already all planned out. Everything to where if she died here, it's amazing how much they planned out. Do you think that Prince William, right? He's now, leveled up, right? King Charles, but now you got William, who's now like a duke, and William has a kid, right? How old's his kid, ladies?
About 4.
4, 5, whatever, right? Do you think by like even 5, let alone 7, 8, 9, 10, do you think this child might have a view of the world a little different from ours?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that when someone turns to him and says, when you grow up, you can be anything you want to be, do you think he's like, really? Dude. Like he's 4 right now, like, okay, I'm going to go a little bit further, because all 4-year-olds have great imagination and all that, but I'm like, by 10. By 15 years old, he's in high school, it's like, you could go anywhere, you can be anything. Like, he's like, yeah, I know. Like, I literally know. Like, I literally get to sit down at 15 years old and just write down, like, what do I want to do with my life? And whatever that is that I make a decision on, I get to do that. How many of us have that same level of consciousness that really truly believe that everything is within choice? Now, it might be choices upon choices upon choices and years away. However, it's still within our choice pattern, right? So that's the levels of awareness is how you see the world. You know, there's people that grew up poor, they live poor, their mothers had them on Social Security because, they were dyslexics, they were disabled, and as adults they believe this, and now they're still in the Social Security line getting their check, and they're like, you don't understand, I'm dyslexic, my mom, I've had it since I was a kid, that's why I'm in Social Security, my mom had me on Social Security, I'm on welfare, and then their kids are born, and they're like, look, this is, victims. World sucks, we can't afford that. Baby, that's not for you. That's for other people. Like, people just keep us down. Like, we're disabled, we're not smart, That's a poverty mindset. A poverty mindset are these people, they just like they're happy to be the slaves. They're just convinced like this is just the way it is. Like this is what I do, I dig the ditch. So most people have what's called a middle class consciousness. They see the world as, I don't need to be the poverty class. Like I'm better than welfare. But I don't deserve the Ferrari and the beach house. I don't deserve to be able to help my mother if she's ever sick. I don't deserve to buy my mother a home, to buy myself, I don't deserve that. I'm happy with being able to make the car payment. Like, oh, that'd be so great. Imagine being able to buy a brand new car. And being able to afford that damn payment. Being able to afford that payment every month. and it's on auto draft. Wouldn't that be great? That's their mindset. That's their view. Okay? Becky, what happens if you take your glasses off?
I can't see.
The world changes.
I can't drive.
Can't drive, right? Can't read the book.
I don't know.
Your whole world changes based on whether you have the glasses or not. How you see things, the whole world changes, right? Your success level.
Everyone looks great with the glasses off.
Yeah. When we're talking up close, take your glasses off. It's yeah. So here's the thing: a world class consciousness. You guys ever spend time with Amy Constantine?
Yes.
Right? Like, is there anything she doesn't believe is possible for you?
No.
Not for even for her. Like she's gone to the level now where she believes even more than you believe what is possible for you. And if you were to tell her, you're like, Amy, I have this crazy idea. I come from poverty. I come from oppressed, relationships and all these things. And I believe that I can become this. Like, Amy will be the least surprised person in the world that you will talk to. She's like, yes, you can. Like, get on it. Let's go. Like, that's the consciousness. Hang out with people that think this way. How do we think this way? I don't know how. I've never been trained.
Limited beliefs.
Limited beliefs, but okay. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. How do I even know what I'm being complacent about? Because I don't even know I'm being complacent about it.
Did you surround yourself with?
Self-awareness.
Well, yeah, surround yourself, absolutely. Birds of a feather flock together. You show me your friends, they'll tell you who you are. There's a reason why you become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Income-wise, relationship-wise, absolutely that has an impact. But there's a reason why. Like, why does that matter? Why do your friends?
Because you're comfortable there.
Because they create awareness to you, the things they talk about. You guys, if I told you that my 5 best friends, the people I spend every single day with, we eat dinner together daily, we go on walks, we raise our children together. On our days off, we go on trips together. On our vacations, we take our families, we go on vacations together, we sit around fireplaces and we talk about life and everything. These 5 best friends that I do life with, and I hang out with them 6 to 7 times a day, minimum 2 to 3 hours every single time we're together. They're all in the moving business. They're all in the moving business, all in different aspects of, like, one friend is an actual mover. He's the guy who shows up at your house and he'll pack things, he organizes it, he puts it in the truck. My other friend in this group is, he's the freight guy. Like, he's the guy who gets all the stuff. Once it's in trucks, he gets it to warehouses, he gets it to Long Island, he's just like a freight guy. He understands how to get things on trains, get things on trucks. And then the other guy, he does all the billing and business side of things and what things cost. And he can just, he has this gift. He can walk in and see this room and be like, $700 in this way is 1,200 pounds. Like, he's got this gift about how to build things and moving. And then the other friend, he has expansion and marketing regarding moving companies. Like, who do you talk to get business for moving companies? These are my 5 best friends that I spend 20 hours a week with, go on vacations with, and everything. How much do you guys think I know about the moving business?
A lot.
Right? We sit around campfires. We sit drinking wine. All of them are professional, successful movers. You guys think I might be able to enlighten you a little bit? Now, I'm a real estate agent, but how much do I know about moving? Dude, I could tell you, if that was true, I'd be able to tell you all kinds of things about moving. How it works, what they do, how they bill, all this stuff, right? What if I hung out with 5 millionaires?
Can you be a millionaire?
What do you think the likelihood is I would be absolutely clear in how you make money? Right? I'm like, John, by the way, dude, we've been friends together, right? You're my best friend, anything. I got an extra 10 grand. What do I do with it? You know how easy that is to ask a friend when you have friends that have money? Now, what if I hung out with 5 great fathers? I look at them like, God, those are the kinds of people that I want to be like when it comes to being a dad. You guys think it might rub off? When it's not only environmental impact, it's the awarenesses that they create. We were sitting at dinner last night, this conversation was happening with my friend, because we're at sushi. And my friends are working class people. They make good money, but husband and wife both work. They probably make about 6 figures each, right? So they're living a good middle class consciousness, but they're living middle class, right? And they said something about having this extra money, and it was something along the lines of this, they got this money, they were holding this money, and it was something to do with these situations where the company accidentally pays you too much money. You hear these stories oh, they gave you $1 million, you got deposited into your bank account, or whatever, and the people don't spend it, and they get arrested for not getting the money back. You guys heard these stories, right? So my friend makes a joke, and he's like, yeah, I got overpaid for 6 months one time, and I knew it and everything. I didn't spend it and everything. Once they asked for it, I gave it back and all this kind of stuff. And it was like this joke about all these things, like, it's like these idiots that spend it. I said, stop. Here's exactly what you do, and this is truth. You guys, if that ever happens to you, someone accidentally, legally, you didn't steal it. Someone accidentally deposits money, like you're that person, the IRS or the lottery system deposits $1 million into your bank account. What you do is you instantly call your wealth manager or a wealth manager or someone who knows a wealth manager, and you say, I need a interest-bearing account. And you deposit that money not in your bank account, you move that into an interest-bearing account like a high-yield savings or a bond or something that's going to give you a return. It's going to put in the S&P, it might give you 8%, whatever, right? The legalities and the logistics and the bookkeeping or even the authorities getting involved to get that money back because they deposited, that might take 8 months to a year. How much interest did I just make on $100,000 that they accidentally deposited? That I fully intend on giving back, but I'm going to make you prove that I have to give it back. And I'm going to hold it for a year until you have some authority say, yep, it's clear. I go, okay, as long as the judge said, here it is. I didn't want it, but I wasn't just going to give it back because you called. I wanted to make sure. I had it for a year. I had 8%. What did I
You
make?
just made $8 grand on free money.
Wow.
And now you got $8 grand.
How many of you guys knew exactly what to do if that ever happened to you? No, tomorrow you get $1 million deposited in your bank account accidentally. None of you guys have a plan. I just gave you one. That's not your money. Don't spend it. You'll go to jail. But that interest that you made, that's yours. That's all yours. Hey, it was their mistake for depositing it. As soon as you give me an authority that says, absolutely, I need to give it back, I will. But until then, I'm just going to hold it, won't spend it. And you just made, $80,000, $8,000. Hang out with people that have a different consciousness. The reason why your friends matter is because they tell you have food in your teeth. They stop you. My friend's telling, and he's like laughing. I go, wait, stop. You didn't know what to do with that? Oh my God, that ever happens again. Oh my gosh, call me. Right? Like he didn't know what to do with the money. He just saved it. He was just like, I just held on to it. I knew it wasn't mine. They were paying him like an extra, $600 a paycheck or something like that. He knew it wasn't his. It was just a bookkeeping error. But they did it for 8 months. Does that make sense? Is anybody having an aha right now about consciousness, about the way you see things? Okay. Remember, you're not going to learn all this stuff. We have a lot. We have like 5 minutes here. So the lead generation habit, I'm not even going to get into the details of the money. I'm just going to break down these 2 words. Because I hear it a lot. Who's ever heard of lead generation before? That's
what our job is.
yeah, everybody. Who has not heard of lead generation before? You have not. Okay, cool. So for the exception of you. Because can I confess something? Scale 1 to 10, can I be a 10 honest?
Keep on it.
I don't know what lead generation is. Can someone tell me? What is a lead generation?
Building relationships,
Moneymaker.
setting
Well,
appointments.
hold on, wait.
Scaling revenue.
Wait. No, a lead generation. What is lead generation? You guys, I don't know what I want to do it. What is a lead
Lead
generation?
generation is you reaching out and trying to find clients and making contacts with people so that you can hopefully turn those into your funnel and turn them into business.
Sounds good. That sounds good.
Lead gen for me is me having relationships and calling people I
So
know to say
let's
hi.
break it down. What is a lead?
Good job.
What is a lead?
A lead is somebody that could possibly turn into business.
A lead, I like to say it this way. That's right, by the way. I agree with that. A lead is an opportunity.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's an opportunity. No matter what it is, a lead is an opportunity. Could be with anything. Right? You guys have a dresser to sell, right? And you're going to put it on Facebook Marketplace. A lead is the opportunity for someone to buy, right? It's an opportunity. That's it. So lead generation, like sometimes I hear, this is just me, not you guys, but just me. I hear I have to lead generate, do all this, and all I hear is like make phone calls, knock on doors. I don't want to do that. A lead is just an opportunity. So what does generation mean? Like
The action. Creating those opportunities.
just create
Do
it.
it.
Just create it. Yeah, manifesting it. We're creating it. So we're going to generate it. We're going to create. So we're going to what? We're going to create opportunities. Did anybody like automatically just think of how do I create opportunities today when they think of their lead generation, or do they think like, oh, I got to make 20 calls to people who don't? So if open houses work for you, God bless you. Go create an opportunity for yourself. Lead generation is creating opportunities. What successful people know, they have a habit of wherever they go, whatever they're doing, they're just creating opportunities. They just create them. And it's not even to their business. Like, guys like this, as a businessman, He doesn't just create opportunities about moving. There's opportunities he's creating all the time. Relationships, people, friends. He's got painter buddies. And someone's like, oh, I need a really good painter. Oh, I got a guy. Hold on. Let me do something for you. Let me just, blah, blah, blah. Just manifesting opportunities. Relationships, conversations, being at the right place at the right time. These things manifest themselves. Successful people have a habit of this. Habit 4, run the business habit. What does run the business habit mean? It means that they have a model. They're following a plan.
You show up.
Does that make sense? They're following a business. A business, like the difference between a salesperson and a business person is that a business is leverage. It's got people, it's got technology, it's got ways of doing things like systems and models. A business is an entity that runs following a plan. A salesperson is just someone who goes out and sells things. We're not necessarily running a business just because we're in sales and making money. Business people have structure, they have discipline, they follow plans. Learning based, so habit 6, strengthening relationships. So just like we're creating opportunities, successful people understand something about the world. They understand that relationships matter. So you get on the plane with a successful business person, they start talking to the person next to them. What do you do? Oh, that's interesting. And by the way, the business is completely different, and they see the opportunities. They're just creating a relationship. You know, what was my advice to you? I said, you guys promise, not during my presentation, of course, after the presentation, log this guy's phone number. Put it in your phone. There's going to be a day where you're going to need the mover's phone number. You go in there, it's there. Create the relationship. Call him and thank him for the lunch. Do all these things. Create a relationship. Now when you call him, you don't have to explain. Remember that one time you came down Valley, you did this thing? I was the guy in the back row, they didn't say anything. Now you're like, hey, you remember me? I'm Rob. I'm the guy who taught the class. We got to talk a little while. We ate our sandwiches together. Talked about the kids. We had a relationship. Yeah, absolutely, Rob. Your phone number's safe.
I love that question. It's my favorite question. What do you do for it?
I like just like, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? I love this.
Right? Like, what do you do? You're like, so what do they often say? They're like, well, for what? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. You studying? You going to work?
Yeah, what are you, like, yeah, what are you doing?
Inventing.
What are you up to?
Sure.
What do you think about? Like, okay, that's cool.
What are you reading?
Yeah, sometimes you gotta speak their language, they don't get it, but I'm interested in you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to share with you about the relationship thing that you brought up, about the opportunity of having relationships. That's what lead generation means to me.
Yeah.
It's the opportunity to have a relationship. I met someone just recently that owns a RE/MAX office far away from here. Okay, so in Los Angeles County, but not close to us. And as I'm talking to him, he says a few things to me that keys me in that he's got these other companies as well. As I dive a little bit more, because I'm building in the relationship and I'm using what? What format did I use to
Ford.
Oh yeah, I did. And I did. And I went to a deep dive in that Ford, right? And as I'm learning more and more, he puts me together. Now this guy, by the way, does way more than the RE/MAX. The RE/MAX thing is just a side hustle. He does way much more. But he puts me together with one of his key partners, who's the CEO of a large electric component company worldwide. And this guy lives out in Chicago. And he gets me on the phone with him, and then we're doing a FaceTime call. Guess what? That Chicago guy is going to come out here and have dinner with me. A business dinner. With me and with no, it's not like that. Anyone who knows me knows. Yeah, that's out of line.
Mike Jackson's like, is he rich?
Anyone who knows me knows.
No, that's
That's
not easy.
That's, yeah, but even that. So, So here's the deal, I have my assistant look up everything that I need to know about this guy, right? Before I'm going to meet him, now I have all this plethora of information before I go and meet with him. By the way, that first guy who did the introduction, the guy who was the bridge between me and this other guy, if I just only him and not the next guy, by himself, well worth that relationship.
Wow.
By the way, he's doing all kinds of things for me as a favor,
Because you're his friend.
because I'm his friend.
Yeah.
And
Don't
so,
we do
you know
things
when
for our
I
friends?
came home? I came home that night, drove home, and I said, okay, I need to change a few people around me in my life. Because the conversations I was having with him,
Leveled you up.
Getting you thinking different, right?
I
Different
swear I
glasses,
was
different
like,
lenses.
holy cow.
I've got a quick one I'll share just on that
And I
note. Like,
miss being up here with you.
I know, my big sister. You guys have no idea. Amy's the wind beneath my wings in so many ways. So I was at an event with other operating principals. I think Amy might have even been there. So people that own Keller Williams offices were at a small meeting, and we're doing the chit chat thing, right? We haven't seen people in person, and I saw Rob Agner, and Rob, we're counterparts. We see each other, and I said that thing. I was like, dude, we got to get together. Let's do lunch. He's like, absolutely, I'd love to do that. No reason, other than just he's a big thinker. He's got stuff going on. Let's do lunch. This was a couple months ago. It's like, yeah, let's do it. So we set it up. We sent each other some texts. We followed through, by the way.
Yeah.
We had that.
Right.
We followed through. We told someone about it. We like instantly text our people. Set up the lunch. We go to lunch, and it was nothing big. We just went to, and it was during, I don't know, like lunchtime hours, whatever. Went to Sherman Oaks off of Ventura Boulevard, met at a restaurant, and we had no intention of just catching up. What are you up to? What did you, using the Ford method? How are the kids? Good. His boys are playing soccer, so Rob's a little older than me, but he's got kids about the same age as mine, and they're playing soccer and talking about his kids, travel ball, college, all that stuff. He asked me about my kids. What are your kids up to? Well, we go down the line. My oldest daughter, 22 years old. She's a Cal State Long Beach senior. She's living down there. She's, just talking to her. She's like a graphics designer, but she's in animation. Like she's an art student specifically in animation. She wants to do all this stuff, and he's like, oh, that's awesome. So what is she gonna do with that? And I said, to be honest, what I'd really like to do is just connect her with the Who. I'd like to connect her with the Who. I don't know anything about that world. I'm not artistic. I'm not artistic, right? You are. This woman's artistic. Just, yeah, whatever. Her house is probably designed a very certain way, right? I'm not artistic. I just don't know what I don't know. I'd love to meet a Who and everything. And he was like, you know what? I have a friend. He goes, now you're saying that. He goes, I got a buddy, because my son plays travel, the soccer team. One of the dads on the team, that's what he does, is like animation or something like that. I don't know what company it is, but I know he does well. He lives in Santa Monica, he does well, and he does all that, but he does something like that designer thing. You want me to reach out to him? So, oh my gosh, I would love that. Would you ask him if you would just take my phone call? I would love to just talk to someone who makes a living at this. And like, what do I need to know? Where do I point my daughter, right? He goes, no problem, I'll set it up. I'll connect you guys, okay? I shit you not. And I'm cussing because it needs the emphasis of the pattern. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, buddy. There's a reason why we cuss.
Yes.
It gets your attention. The next day he calls me and he's like, and I forget the guy's name right now, John Doe. Give him a call. He's expecting, I called him, told him all about your daughter. He's expecting your call. Fantastic. I get his name. I go on to LinkedIn. I gotta check the guy out real quick. I gotta see if he's a somebody. What's the deal? I kid you not. I shit you not. He's an Academy Award-winning animator for Pixar. Whoa. He's the guy on stage with the trophy with a team. He's the guy. This is my friend's guy. I don't call him then. I call my friend back. I call Rob back. I go, is this the guy? He goes, this guy, he goes, that makes sense, yeah. He goes, you know what? He goes, now you're saying it. He goes, I met him for lunch a couple months ago in Burbank, and when I went to his office, I remember being blown away at how they had free yoga and all this stuff, everywhere. It was legit. I remember being impressed by this guy's office. That would make sense that he's a big deal, yeah. That's it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I call the guy up, and I'm like, I'm gaming myself, okay, I'm gonna call him at 10 a.m. because my energy's good, right? Call the guy up, I'm like, hey, it's Rob, I'm Rob's friend, you know, I don't know if he mentioned it, he said he called you, my daughter's in animation, she's a Cal State Long Beach animation student or anything, and he said you would take my call. Absolutely, Rob, how can I help? I remember being at that. What can I tell you about that? And I said, well, honestly, I don't know what I don't know. All I'd like to know right now is like, I want to be able to encourage my daughter, like she's gonna have this piece of paper in the next year that's, you know, not gonna do much. Like, where do we go? Like, you know, is there internships out there? Like, how do I get her in an organization? And he just spent a few minutes while he said, tell you what, have your daughter call me. Have your daughter call me when she's, I'll get all choked up. When she's ready for an internship or anything, let her get closer to graduation, keep my number, save it. When she's ready, like more close to the degree, have her give me a call. I'll make sure she, you know, at least is pointing in the right direction. Now, I don't know what that's going to lead to.
Right.
It may not lead to a job. It may not lead to anything other than another introduction. This guy may be busy and just say, look, here's John. He's gonna help you out a little bit. Hey, help Taylor and Rob out for a little bit, right? But it was one lunch that I was just like, I saw another peer. I never knew going to lunch with Rob that day. I was just like, someone who does what I do. Let's go to lunch, man. Let's just catch up. And let's be intentional. Both of us are intentional. So we're doing that. We started before, like family, work. We're going right through it. What are you doing for fun? We talked about vacations. We talked about, like, we're going right through it. Because we practice, by the way, too, right? Relationships, you guys, the habit of that, successful people understand the value of people and how they make you feel, right? You guys want to connect with people, get really good at the Ford method, practice it so much. Here's what I challenge people with. This was my goal, like in coaching, or see if you can get them to cry.
What?
You go to lunch and we go so deep, right? I start bringing up names like Tina and Jenna and their goals and all that stuff. You'll see a different Amy. All of a sudden, like this tough, you know, knight in shining armor turns into a, you know, melted puddle because we're talking about our girls. Connect with people. Learn their kids' names. Talk about what they want from life.
He was talking about Taylor, by the way.
Point is, get this. This is what successful people get. It's like, is that a habit that you guys see? What is a habit again? What is it? Is it like
You
something
do naturally.
just natural? It's something we've done so many times, it becomes subconscious. Which means that if you don't have a habit of that right now, that's okay. That's okay. And if you're somewhat introverted and you don't just enjoy the process of doing it 8 hours, that's okay too. You don't have to do that. You just have to have a very set amount of skills in order to do it habitually. Make a game out of it. Learn it. Practice it. Right? Implement it. All right, last 3. Mastering time habit. Real quick. Anybody know the value? Do I have to like sell you guys on the value of time blocking?
If it's on your calendar,
Anybody ever
that's
said
not
like I don't have
fixed.
enough time? There's not enough time.
We all have the same 24 hours.
Oh my gosh, I have, yeah. So, again, I'm a little slow, you guys. Help me out. What is time?
Priceless.
Human construct.
Yeah, what is time? Because we don't have enough of it. I need some more of it. Or I
Revolutions
have
around the sun? For the years.
Live
How old you are.
You guys, what is time? I mean, we're all so worried about it. It's actually number 1 and number 2 for the priorities of what people want. Do these career nights. Garrett still used the PowerPoint I created all these years ago. The number 1 slide, what do you want? I always have time first. People want their time. They want to be their own boss. They want their schedule, blah, blah, blah. They want time. And right after that, they want money. It's number 1. People want time. People want free. What is time, though? We keep talking about what is it?
The inevitable forward motion of life.
Yeah, it's a construct.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a word that's going to help us better define what we mean when we say this word. Because I like to pattern it up with different words. Like instead of lead generation, we're what? We're creating opportunities. We're not lead generating, we're creating opportunities. We're having an open house to create an opportunity. We're knocking on the door to create an opportunity. We're going to go to the mixer to create an opportunity. I'm going to go to that lunch with the business person to create an opportunity. Right? So what is time?
Energy.
Time are your priorities. Remember, you only have choice. It's the one thing. So when you reference time as like that thing that we're trying to get, what we're actually saying is, I want you to say that sentence, let's just pick one sentence, and replace it with the word priorities. So what would be an example that I would use time as the reason and the motivator, like the gym, right? Anybody ever said like, I don't have enough time? Anybody ever said that? Just me? Okay, got it. So if I said that differently, what would I be saying? I don't have enough time to go to the gym.
The gym is not a priority.
No, the only word we're replacing is time. I don't have enough time to go to the gym.
Motivation.
Gym is not a priority.
That's not what I said.
I don't have the priority.
Well, only word you're replacing is time with the word priority. I don't have enough time to go to the gym.
I don't go to the gym.
I don't have the priorities.
I'm here for you guys. I don't have enough priorities to go to the gym. Hey, I need to get here an hour earlier because he says that if I make 20 contacts a day, I make an extra $200,000, but I don't have enough time to get here earlier. I don't have enough priorities to get here to do my 20 contacts.
That's an aha moment.
I don't have enough priorities. You guys, it's all a choice. What is one example that time is the reason you can't get something? What's just one goal? Someone please be vulnerable and just share something that time is the reason that they don't. Is it vacations?
Sometimes I don't upload my contacts to my database.
You're not uploading your contacts to your database because you don't have enough time. You're super busy, right? Aren't we all so busy? Oh my gosh, good for you. You're so busy.
Yeah, that's not good.
You know what I'd say? If you guys, like Becky's been here a while, people come to me, I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, super busy. I'm like, I'm sorry. What do you mean? I'm super busy though. I'm like,
That's
"God,
great."
That sucks. I don't like being busy.
But I'm not prioritizing it.
So yeah, my database isn't getting uploaded because I don't have enough time. My database isn't getting uploaded because I don't have enough priorities. That part's true. Time is not real. Time is a construct. There's only now, and now, and now, and now,
And now.
and now, and now.
Tomorrow's never promised.
Yeah, and now, and now, and now. So time is simply just what you choose to focus on. Right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. There's no such thing as time, so stop saying it. If there's no such thing, why do we keep using the word? We're just going to start saying priorities, because that's what we're really saying. Like, what priorities is it right now? Being in this class, getting something. What's our priority? To get one thing that inspires us to go tell someone so we can do something about it. That's our priority right now.
Money.
Right? You guys get it? All right. What's a system of time habit? What's one thing that we can do that would ensure that we're focused on our priorities?
Time blocking.
Priority
Yeah.
blocking.
You guys, your schedule's not something you do. Your schedule is what you do. Your schedule is the job. It's not part of the job. It's not one of the things you do. It is the job. That is your job, is the schedule. Follow the plan. And successful people know that. All right, talent scout habit. I'm going to skip that one, but we're just going to take it back to what we had said earlier. Like, successful people are constantly looking for, I was talking about Amy. Amy sees in people what they cannot see. If you want to go and see what's possible for yourself, get to know Amy. This is not just one conversation. Get to know her, and then go ask her what she sees in you. She's just someone who's constantly looking for talent. It's just a habit she has. And if anybody really wants to know what is possible, like there's been times where I'm like, look, I'm stuck. Amy, like, who am I? What do you see in me? Like, what do you see? And she's like, you're this guy. You're this guy. That's who you are. This is what's possible for you. This is what I see. I'm like, that is absolutely who I am. That is what's possible for me. Right? This is just a great exercise where she's just going through the room. Be that person. How's this person talented? All of us are talented in unique and amazing ways. Finding it's like a game. Every single one of us has a superhuman power that God has given us. And just to like discover that, like, I don't know what his is yet. I can't wait to find out. How is it going to affect him and me and all that? Like, it's a game successful people play. And they keep this log. They know this. And you're like, hey, do you know someone who can do this? Like, I got the guy. I got the guy. Like, I was waiting for years. I knew I was like, one day, I didn't know what it was until someone said, this is what they needed. And I'm like, I know the guy. Because I'm constantly looking for what people are good at. All right. Strategic thinking. That's what we're doing right now. Here's a kiss of death word. I'm going to give you a few words. One more, okay? I gave you time, right? I gave you pattern. I gave you a new word for time. What was that? Priorities. Okay. I gave you new words for lead generation. What were those? Okay. I gave you a new word for habits, right? Definitions. Now I'm going to give you another one when it comes to like the strategic thinking. Okay. So let's go through this. This is what strategic thinkers do. They know their numbers at all times, average days on market, context information, right? Does this all make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's go back here. So, what is strategic thinking? Strategic thinking is the process of your focus. Right? So strategic thinking is actually what we get paid to do, is to process the best decisions. It's to have the awareness of possibility. And here's the key word that I want to give you guys. If you hear yourself say this word, it's a pattern interrupt. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's called I know. I know. Hey Rob, I got the, yeah, I know.
You don't know anything.
Yeah. It's a kiss of death, you guys. You remember Pee-wee's Playhouse for you guys older? They would have the key word of the day. Let's say the word was like couch. Everybody would scream, ah! You go into bold. You say but. What's everybody do? They all scream. And. Okay. Yeah. And, right? We do that. Same thing. You turn and say, I know. What are we going to replace it with? Tell me more. Right? I know is a stop. It means that I no longer want to hear, I'm no longer open to the possibility that you might know something more than me. I know. I come in and I talk to agents all the time like, hey, this is what you have to do. Yeah, I know. They'll literally say it like 5, 6, 7 times in a row. Not just, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm like, well, you really know. Okay, well, why are you even asking me then? Why are we even talking about how to raise your kids better, how to make more money? You know. So I just start repeating these things back to them. They'll go, I know. I go, you know. And they're like, why did you say that? You guys, listen to the way that we speak to ourselves. Remember, this is what matters most. How you talk to yourself. You're always listening. Your cells eavesdrop on your thoughts. So I know is the kiss of death. When you hear it, you go, ah, shit, just said it. I know. Oh. Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more.
Tell me more.
The gratitude habit. So what is gratitude?
Thankfulness.
Yeah, gratitude, I'm going to go back to that abundant mindset. Gratitude is a choice to focus on the blessings and the grace and the things like, it's not being delusional, by the way. Let's not pretend that. Can we not pretend for a second that, like these affirmation BSs that we stand in the mirror all real, like they haven't been created. You guys don't have the beach house. You're not healthy and wealthy yet and all this stuff. However, we can absolutely be so grateful for the lessons. Thank you, Lord, for the flat tire today. Thank you for delaying my day. There was obviously something you knew that I didn't.
Right.
I needed to be on the side of this road today, and I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to be in the sun, change his tire, and just slow down for a minute. I obviously was going too quick. Lord, and you need to slow me down, and you had to take the air out of my tire to do it. Thank you for this 20 minutes.
Thank you for the stop sign ticket I got today.
Yeah, thank you for the fact that when my hands were covered in grease, you give me soap to wash them. Look at my hands getting clean. Like, it's not my hands are dirty. Oh, I changed my tire. Hands are dirty. Like I am so grateful that I just live in a world I was able to walk in here and just wash my hands. I live in a place where there's like Dawn soap sitting right there. It's a big old gallon of it. You just pour it all over my hands, takes oil off. It's like, what an amazing place. And Lord, I'm just so grateful that that I ruined this outfit changing my tire today. And Lord, I'm just so grateful that I have like 10 more in my house right now. You guys know Sam Raffay? Ever met him? Yes. Sam Raffay told me a story one time, and Sam's not one to ever talk about he's not one to tell his story. But he's telling me the story one day, and he grew up in Lebanon, in a village in Lebanon, in the hills of Lebanon, right? He tells me the story, and it was just very casual. He didn't even know the impact that it was having, but he had one pair of pants, and his mom had bought him these new pair of jeans, and he's telling me, he's probably like 12, you know what I mean? And he got these new pair of jeans, and he was just glowing like a kid with new shoes or whatever. So Sam has his one pair of jeans, and he gets them, and he's out playing, and he fell, and he ripped the knee on his brand new pair of jeans, and he was like, my heart was broken. My heart was broken, like this brand new pair of jeans, and he's going home, and the reason he was telling me the story is because the way that his mother got him to look at it different. Like, he got home, and number one, he was devastated because he had these new pair of jeans, and he had this hole in them, like, heartbreaking. But on top of that, he's like, my mother's gonna kill me. Like, these new pair of jeans, these are expensive, I got one pair. And he goes and tells his mother and everything, and his mother was like, baby, you still have your jeans, you know, like, we're gonna sew them here, you still have jeans. You're just gonna, now they have stitches also. You know, like, it's just a choice in what to focus on. So gratitude is an energy builder. Gratitude, you guys, is an antidepressant. It's the most effective antidepressant, gratitude.
Right.
So we sit down at dinner and I tell my kids to do this exercise every day. You know, when we walk in the house, we're sitting down for dinner, I say, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite part? What are you grateful for? 3 things you're grateful for. Start off coaching call someday. 3 things you're grateful for, go. How many times do you think I ask that question and they quickly know exactly what they're grateful for? Almost never. In fact, I would tell you 50 to 60% of the time, I say, Marvin, quick, 3 things you're grateful for. And he goes, well, you know, the flat tire today. And he'll go on this whole thing, not Marvin, because Marvin's pretty optimistic. But they'll go on this whole story about all the things that are wrong with their day. I'm like, okay, got it. Okay, cool. So let me just go back on this. 3 things you're grateful for. You're driving to work today, you got a flat tire. And then your hands got all dirty, you were 20 minutes late, you know, couldn't find the dawn, you go blah, 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 right? We go through this whole thing. It's like, well, you know, you say it like that. I mean, I'm grateful for my family and all that. No, hold on. I love that you're grateful for that. Well, I wasn't. I'm pissed off or anything, right? What am I doing? I'm challenging them in how they're thinking. Gratitude is an antidepressant when you can sit down and just be grateful. Not so like complacent that I don't want to do more. That's not what we're talking about. We're not like, I'm so grateful to just be poor. We should be happy with the breadcrumbs. We can be grateful for the breadcrumbs and desire more.
Right. Come on.
God wants abundance for us. He wants all these things for us. He doesn't care if you have the new car. God doesn't care. He doesn't care if you have the new house, the big house, the Malibu house, the brand new Ferrari. God doesn't care. He doesn't care if you have a piece of crap car that doesn't start on cold days. He doesn't care. You can have those or not have those. The only time he takes issue with it is when they have you. He might put up some roadblocks if the car has you. If the house has you, he'll have issue with that. But he has no issue with you having a brand new car, with you having multiple houses, with you sharing with people you love and helping. He has no issue with that. He wants to bless you. But you've got to come from gratitude. You've got to know where it came from.
Sure.
He gave us one thing, and that was our choice, which includes all the money, all the stuff, all the things you think you worked for. You didn't have that either. You only have one thing, and that's your choice. So when you get these things, we choose to be grateful. Grateful every day. Like grateful every day for the opportunities. I'm grateful for the people. I'm grateful that people saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. And I had to do the work. But without them seeing what I didn't see, I would have never been able to do the work, let alone learn the work. I'm grateful that people taught me the work. I'm grateful for their patience. I'm grateful for the opportunity to then go to the next level. I'm grateful for teaching this class today. I'm grateful for some relationship that I will have created today that I can't even think of that will one day be the reason that my next daughter has her dream job because of your brother's cousin's uncle, right? Like, you guys see how that like might actually have an effect?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to give you a little tool with this. You guys can't control when the devil whispers in your ear. You can't. You guys ever remember the cartoons, Little Devil and Angel? Okay, this is real though. This is real. Like,
Yeah.
believe me, go listen to your thoughts. Like, so the devil's going to whisper in your ear and he's going to say something like, you're so stupid. I can't believe you sat front row
That's the
today.
young monkey there.
Did you think by sitting in front row today you were somehow going to learn more than everybody else? You're so dumb. Look at you taking notes. Like, you're going to remember this. He said at the beginning you're not going to remember, right? This happens. Little drunk monkey, devil on your shoulder, right? We can't control what they say. Here's what we can control. Because remember, we choose abundance. What we can control is whether we indulge the conversation.
Come on.
So he turns and says, you're so stupid. Like, I can't believe you thought that by sitting in the front row today, you were somehow going to get more out of this class. Now, what you can do is you can say, yeah, like that was nice. Who am I? Like, what am I doing? Right? Or, this is the life hack. That's one way to look at it. What's another way?
I sat in the front row so I could see and hear everything that was
I wasn't going to miss anything. I sat in that front row. You better believe I was going to squeeze a chair in there because I wasn't going to miss a thing.
That's right.
You know, what's another way to look at it? You're damn right I took notes today. And even if I threw those notes in the trash, there's a whole bunch of evidence that just having written them down will help me remember things. And maybe I don't remember it all, but I will have remembered something. And he said at the beginning of this class, it wasn't about everything. It wasn't about some of it. It was about one thing.
That's right.
And I've got like 5.
Or more.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's another way to look at it. How long would we have to get there some days in a bad mood to get to the abundance? Now, here's the thing. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest, like my wife will be here in just a minute to pick me up. I'm going to confess something that's going to blow you guys all away. Sometimes I'm a dick. And, you know, sometimes the arguments that we get in, just sometimes, the arguments that we get in are completely my fault. Just sometimes. And sometimes I'm totally the reason, right? And I'm yelling, I'm being completely unreasonable, stressed out, whatever, right? When I took the red pill, this is what pissed me off. There was times where I was so mad and I'm pissed off. And you know, you guys all have been there, right? And we're justified too. Because our self-righteousness is like, this thing happened. You don't understand what I went through today at work. And you have no, you know, appreciation for what I need and all these things, right? I'm in it. And all of a sudden the red pill kicks in. And I realize that the choice to be in a bad mood is a choice.
Yes.
Yes.
Emotional intelligence.
Check yourself.
I literally am choosing to be in a bad mood and be a total asshole right now. So, but what I also know is that I don't want to stop it. Who's ever caught themselves and be like, damn, I'm being a bitch right now, and I'm gonna keep this part of it going.
Sorry.
Just me, right? Okay. So here's what I did. Because I had this consciousness about it now. I took the red pill. I'm like, well, shit. I am in full awareness and acceptance of who's creating this and holding on to it and keeping it. And I'm not ready to let it go. I'm pissed. I'm in a bad mood. I'm a fucking asshole right now. Blah, blah, blah. However, the awareness and the abundance right now, here's what I say. I'm like, I'm in a really bad mood or anything. So right now, anything you say, I'm just going to continue, find what's wrong, spin the whole conversation, make you the freaking person that caused all this. What I need right now is like 5 minutes exactly. You can set a timer for me to feel sorry for myself, and then we should probably go for a walk. You know, because it's going to take me 5 minutes to let this go. Because I'm pissed. And it's like, well, we don't have to go on a walk. No, it would be good for me. And then we're walking down the street. I'm like, I can't hold hands yet. Beep, 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 beep. Okay.
That's it.
Oh, man.
You're done.
I'm done. I let it go. I was a freaking ass. I totally stalls all that and everything, but I just needed 5 minutes. Now, my wife loves me. She's sweet and everything, so she does these things too. It's like, well, hold on, but maybe if we could do it. I said I need freaking 5 minutes to be an ass. Let me go over here and feel sorry for myself in the other room. You're not going to make it better because I'm choosing 5 minutes to be an ass. So why don't I do it over there by myself? Like, you're not going to fix it. I'm choosing it. And she's like, okay. Like, it's red pill. All right, ahas. What'd you guys get? We got 10.
The fact that the waking up early isn't about waking up early. It's about these creating the cycle of accomplishment.
It's probably the game you're going to have to play, though, to beat yourself into believing it. What is a belief?
False appearance of
Reality.
No, that's a fear.
That's a fear.
fear. I'm sorry.
False evidence appearing real. Okay, here's you guys seen this guy because here. Okay, a belief, right? A belief is when the tipping point of evidence outweighs the evidence that supports the contrary on something. Okay, stay with me. Belief is like not like that light switch where you just turn on like, oh yeah, I believe that. Yeah, Rob said it. I believe it. Like, belief is like believing in God, falling in love. There's a tipping point. So it's, you know, those little scales of justice.
There's like an emotional attachment to it.
So here's what happens. Someone comes along and brings some evidence around. And you got these little scales right here. One of them's called faith, and one of them's called fear or doubt, right? And the evidence, I got this little token, and it's like, dude, you're ugly. And I drop that little piece of evidence on there because that's my opinion. And there's no opinion. So what happens is his evidence goes like this. Right? And now Marvin comes over and says the same thing. He's like, I saw Rob talking to your ugly ass. What'd he say? And it's like,
I think the delivery on that from Marvin was perfect.
that's exactly how you would say it. That's about how Marvin would say it, right? You know that same thing, Scott comes over and it's like, gosh, I saw you, you're giving an ugly face there. What did Marvin and Rob say? And you're like, oh, whatever. Where's his belief? All of his evidence is what? Yeah, and then we all walk away, and the 27 women in here that are left over are all talking about how fine he is.
But I don't hear it.
No, but you do.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop.
Ego.
27 women all just walked out and said, I just gotta tell you, you look good today. Hey, I just gotta tell you, like we were all over there talking, like the way you were just leaning back in that chair, you can tell, like that swagger, I don't know what it is, your confidence, the way you're engaging, like clear. Oh, it's the hair, whatever, but I'm just saying, we were all talking, literally every woman in here today. And then for the next 3 days, like every woman after one was like, hey, we just want to acknowledge, like, hey, you were hot. You looked good on Thursday. All this evidence, right? So now one more guy comes, JD comes in tomorrow and he's like, what's up, ugly? He's like, what's up, dog? His belief is what?
That he's fine.
His belief is that he's fine because the evidence
Outweighs.
the evidence that says I'm ugly is outweighed by the evidence that I'm fine. Right? And then there's those people like right here, it's like I get 1 for 1. Burp, 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 and it's day to day, right? So a belief is like that. All of a sudden someone comes around and I'm like, hey, you know you're good looking, right? And you're like, I mean, yeah. Right? Like, I believe that. That's what that is. So we're searching for our evidence. You will find it. You guys want to find reasons of why you can't do anything with this today? You'll find it.
Thanks for filling up my bucket, bro.
Yeah. You want to find reasons of why you can? You'll find that, you'll find that, you'll find that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Dollars.
That's a belief. That's what a belief is. It's a tipping point of evidence. Find your evidence. What's another way to look at it? What's another way to look at it? You know, we just don't like olive-skinned guys. Like, that's why they think I'm not attractive. Like, yeah, I hope you think I'm unattractive. All right, Ahaz. Any more?
I don't have enough priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even John doesn't. How do I know that even John doesn't have enough priorities yet? Because he's here today. He's here today. And it's not to say that John doesn't have amazing things to be grateful for. He does. He's got a beautiful family. He's got a beautiful life. Right? He's got amazing things to be grateful for. But has he reached his fullest potential? I know John really well. No, he hasn't. He's still on his way to reaching his fullest potential. And it's all about his priorities. As he continues to choose better priorities, he will unlock more of his potential. Okay, what else?
Regeneration is creating opportunities.
Creating opportunities. All right, let's talk about a couple of priorities. I'll let you guys get out of here. What are some of the things? Who knows what the thing is that they're going to go tell someone about? Who's written it down? Okay. Take out your phone. Right? Go to the notes section. Write down what is one thing, not the thing, the best thing, just one of the things that you're choosing right now to go tell someone about by Friday that you want to take action on. You're going to tell someone, you're going to invite someone to help you find the who or the how in how you're going to take action in this thing. Everybody got it? Got one? Does anybody not have one? Because before we can leave, we got to help you find one.
I have too many.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You ready? How many of you have 10?
I have so many things.
Okay, you want me to give you guys an exercise? How you do it? If anybody have like 5, 10 of ahas or anything? Okay, here's the exercise. You're the only one. You're going to take Post-it notes. You know what they are?
Yeah.
Okay, cue cards, index cards, whichever one you guys have. Post-it notes work really good because they're visual. You can put them on a wall. Go get Post-it notes. They cost like $3. Get yourself some Post-it notes, and you write each one of those things down on one. Okay, and then I want you to stick it on a wall, sideways.
Okay.
And you have 10 of them across, okay? Then you're gonna look at them and you decide, all these things are important, I'm gonna do all these things, I'm amazing, I'm gonna implement all of them, and I'm gonna do them all at once. However, you can't do them all at once, so we have to identify which ones first. You're gonna do them all. We can keep telling ourselves that, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna identify, out of the 10, which 5 are slightly more prioritized than the other 5, meaning that they need to come first. It's not that we're not going to do the other 5. Don't let your monkey talk you out of like, well, this is important too. Just these 5 are more important than these 5, so these 5 have to go first. Out of those 5, which one goes first? Just one can go first. Not only, but first. Whichever that one is the one you go tell your friend about. And you come back to the list once that's done and implemented. Post-it notes are $2-3, right? This exercise works all the time with the HAWs, with strategies, you're chunking it down into getting,
Right,
you know,
because it
focus.
doesn't might happen that sometimes you have so many things to do that you don't know which one to start.
I have so many things to do.
Start a little bit with each one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get overwhelmed and you're like.
You're the only one. Yeah.
house.
So you have all these things to do. You have all these things to do.
Just start them all.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So here's the thing. You get 10 Post-it notes. So here's all the 10 things I have to do. And you write them all down. Right? And you take the 5 things that need to happen before the other 5 things and you put them in order. And of those 5 things, you choose which one needs to go first. Not only, just first. And you tear that one off and now you have this index card or a Post-it note that has this thing on it. And you leave the other ones there and you just go do this thing. You just get that thing done. And when that thing's done, you go back to your list and you can go to the next one. Listen, multitasking is an illusion. There's no such thing as multitasking. Even you women who make the balancing act look really good, like as if you are, it's an illusion. There's still, it's all these micro adjustments happening that make the illusion of a balance. Right? You can only do one thing at a time. Okay, so that's it. That's what I got. You guys, your homework, one thing. Right? Thanks for staying over. Thank you, Rob. I forgot, we didn't get lunch, huh? Lunch is out there.
Choice.